Well, a federal inquiry kicked off Monday looking into the recent month-long Canada Post strike and the future of the Postal Service's business model. Canada Post CEO highlighting the Crown Corporation's financial challenges and urgent need for change to turn around major losses. So today's radio question of the day asking, should Canada Post be privatized?
The status quo just simply cannot continue. The government and Canada Post actually need to look at alternative business models. Right now, it's a failing business model that's just losing money. They have no incentive to really keep costs down or become profitable because the government and taxpayers are ultimately always there to bail them out.
Don't necessarily disagree with that, too. From the Fraser Institute, Kirsty Cameron is here. This has been broken for a long time, Kirsty, urged along clearly by the pandemic, but we're talking about tens of millions of dollars every quarter at this point.
Well, both sides of the debate agree that clearly the fiscal picture is looking pretty grim for Canada Post. And even their chief financial officer said they're about to run out of money in July, which is why we're getting these repayable loans from the federal government. We're seeing that. The question is, will they actually be repaid? Or are they going to end up as a bailout money? I did hear, again, like I said, from both sides on the show today, and it felt like a lot of our listeners said something's got to give, that we've got to revamp the business model, that we need to expand or put Canada Post for sale, because right now it's just not working.
It's hard to talk about privatization in particular, when we talk about jobs, because that will likely mean job losses, slashing jobs and whatnot in order to make it a profitable business model. But I think you're right in the fact that something has to change here going forward, because taxpayers can't continually be on the hook for these millions of dollars, and especially by the summer if they're going to be out of money.
And the reality is Canada Post is not competing with these other parcel delivery services like UPS and FedEx. It's just not. And people are not turning to mail like they used to. They're checking their inbox, their email, not their mailbox. So I think we do have to face facts. The union believes that we can actually expand the services that Canada Post offers. They can look at other things. But the question is, if privatization does become a reality, Matt, like a lot of people want it to, what happens to the rural and remote addresses?
Exactly.
Will they be as served? And I think there's sort of an existential question here. Is Canada Post a public service or is it a business?
Right.
Like in 2025, is it a public service? I would say in 2025. A lot of people
still rely on it, so.
Yeah, not as much as it used to be, though,
yeah.
Where everybody needed the mail.
Exactly. It's an interesting one. Thank you, Christy. You can join the conversation yourself. Leave a comment through the Talkback feature on the iHeartRadio app. You can always listen to Christy live, too, on News Talk 580 CFRA. Ottawa Now is on from 2 until 6 p.m.